In this video, we will be looking at using any information to write equations. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to write the equation of a line when given 2 points on the line or when given the slope and a point on the line. So what this means is that we may be given a variety of information and have to write the equation. So here's just a review of some of the things we've looked at up to this point. We have our slope, which is our change in y over change in x, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, vertical change over horizontal change, which means up and down over the right. We also have looked at slope-intercept form of an equation, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope and b is my y-intercept. And lastly, we've also seen standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are real numbers, and a and b are both not zero, and a must be positive. Now we're going to kind of bring it all together and write equations given a variety of information. In example 1, it tells us that a line goes through the point 6, -5 and has the slope 1/2. And we need to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So I remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So we always need two pieces of information. I always need my slope and my y-intercept in order to write the equation of the line. So in this equation, I have my slope, m is equal to 1/2. What I'm missing, this problem does not give me my y-intercept or my b. So that is what we need to find. So what I'm going to do is use substitution. I'm going to substitute the given information. So I know that I have the point 6, -5. 6 is my x-coordinate and -5 is my y-coordinate. And I also know that my slope, my m, is 1/2. And I'm going to substitute those three pieces of information into my equation. So I know that I have y. My y-coordinate is -5. So I'm going to write -5 equals my m, I know is 1/2. My x-coordinate is 6 plus b. And now I need to solve for b. My second step is to solve for b. So when I do that, I still have -5 is equal to 1/2 of 6 is 3 plus b. To solve for b, I want to subtract 3 from both sides. -5 minus 3 gives me -8, which is equal to b. So now I know that my b is -8. So when I write my equation completely out, I have y equals, you only substitute in m and b, 1/2 x minus 8. And that is the equation of the line that goes through the point 6, -5 and has a slope of 1/2. Let's take a look at another example. In this example, we're given the graph. Remember that we need two pieces of information. I need my slope and my y-intercept. I see here I can find 2 points on this graph that cross nicely, and I see that my slope, I go up 1 and I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my slope, and it's increasing, I have 1/6. And on this graph, it looks like my y-intercept is a fraction. I don't have a nice number. I'm going to need to figure out what my b is again. So I'm going to need to do the same process that I did before. So for this one, I have my slope. and I need my b. But in the last problem, we also had a point. You might say, well, we don't have a point here, but we have 2 that we identified. So we need to identify, let's do this point. It does not matter if you want to choose the other one, but this one I'm going to choose is 2, 2. So I'm going to use the point 2, 2, and substitute in. My first step is going to be to substitute in for y equals mx plus b. And I know my 2, 2. I have x and y. 2 is x, 2 is y, and my slope is 1/6. So when I substitute, I have 2 equals my slope of 1/6 times 2 plus b. My second step is to solve for b. So now I have 2 equals 1/6 times 2 is 2/6 plus b. I also know that 2/6 I can simplify to be 2 equals 1/3 plus b. So I want to solve for b. I subtract 1/3 from both sides. When I do 2 minus 1/3, I get 5/3 is equal to b. So when I write my equation, I have y equals 1/6x plus 5/3. There is my equation of the line. In my last example, I'm given 2 points. Remember, I always need m and b. But in this equation, I don't have m or b, but I can find both pieces. So when I have 2 points like this, if we recall back to our first lesson in this unit, we want to find the slope between these 2 points. We can find our slope. Just like on this one, I had to find the slope by looking at the graph, I need to find the slope by looking at my points. So remember, I have x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to plug that in, substitute back into my equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have y2, which is 10, minus y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 9. You can either put that in your calculator or solve. 10 minus 2 is 8, over 3 minus 9 is -6. If I simplify that, I get -4/3. So my slope is -4/3. Now I can use my same steps that I've used before to find my b value. Remember, step 1 is to substitute. So for this, you can use either point. I'm going to use the first point to substitute. So remember, we take y equals mx plus b, and we substitute in. Here's my x and my y. So my y is 2 equals, my m I just found out is -4/3. My y coordinate is 9 plus b. 2 is equal to, when I type this in on my calculator, I get -12 plus b. Now to solve for b, step 2, I'm going to solve for b. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. 14 is equal to b. And now when I write my equations, so 14 is equal to b, I get y equals -4/3 x plus 14. That is the equation of my line. We will do more examples like this in class to help practice and get used to these steps. There are many of these steps. This will take some practice, so make sure to bring your notes to class and we will go over this a little bit more.